develop real estate, so each of us agreed to look at 20 tracts of land. Thereby, that way we could cover 60 tracts of land. That's what we did. We started in May, and by July, early July, we had covered the 60 tracts of land. But we were primarily concerned about the central part of Virginia. We were looking for a place where we could have rallies for the Virginia unit at that time, and where anybody from the state could come and nobody would have to travel too far. So we were concentrating primarily in the geographic center of the state. Well, as luck would have it, none of our committee found this place. A fellow by the name of Ernie Luck from Richmond was camping over here at Klein Angle's place, and Klein told him about this little farm on top over here that was for sale. And Klein contacted Vaughn and Vernon Poole, and Ernie Luck contacted Vaughn and Vernon Poole, and I suppose other members of the Virginia unit about this thing, and the committee that was looking for it heard about it a couple of weeks later when we called a special meeting for the Virginia unit at Smith Mountain Lake. And the purpose of that special meeting, other than to have a rally, we used any excuse to have a rally in those days, but other than to have a rally, was to look at this piece of property. And so we met up there, and after the rally, I guess during Saturday of the rally, Saturday afternoon, a bunch of us came up here and looked over this piece of property. And this is where the slides start. All right, here we go. That's the postcard, and saw 2 or 3 scenes of now. But this was the original piece of property, and there were 2 hilltops and a saddleback in between, as you can see. And we cut, I suppose, near 100 foot, or maybe a little over 100 foot off the site up here where site number 1 is, and the far end down there would be where the last site, and beyond the turnaround, and we cut about, 75 foot off that one, didn't we, Ron? Yeah. And then we pushed all that dirt over into the middle, and filled it up and made sort of a runway down there, and that's where the trailer's parked now. But anyway, this is the crowd that came up here, and we kind of liked this piece of property. This was the clubhouse at that time, and this old black tar paper covered building out here was the barn. And down below that, where those little team chestnut trees off to the right, the chestnut trees now big, was a garden area. And this is Ray Hemingway in the red hat, and Vernon Poole standing on the ground, and who's up on the ladder, Vaughn?
That's the man that owned the chainsaw, and the friend of McAvoy that owned the truck. The truck. I believe that's him up there, isn't it?
Could be.
No, I mean the man that owned the truck. I think I can't call his name, but he was a carpenter.
Well, anyway, the important thing of this was the land in those days, and what they are doing is cutting off low-hanging limbs so that we can get trailers in here.
It took us 3 hours to come in here.
That's right. And Ray Hemingway named Virginia Highland Haven, by the way. It's interesting, at the meeting after the survey party came, we agreed that it looked like a good piece of property, and so somebody said, well, we should name it, and he suggested the name of Highland Haven, and then it was amended to read Virginia Highland Haven. And shortly thereafter, the Virginia unit decided they had better not buy this piece of property because they felt like it would be more than the unit could handle to develop this thing. And so they reneged on the deal, and Vaughn and Vernon Poole, and I think it was a total of 8 people, went ahead, bought the property, and formed the initial corporation.
And that's my trailer.
That's the first trailer that came in there. First trailer that came in was Vaughn's, and that's the condition of the lane at the time.
Didn't Mr. Steele over here use it then? Didn't Mr. King use
Mr.
his
King,
word
yeah,
then?
yeah.
But they could get the
Sure,
truck in and out.
they had mail, the mailman came up.
The mailman used it too.
Yeah. And this was the front porch that's on there, and that's McAvoy there. He's about to knock the underpinnings out of it. And underneath that is where we put the tractor for. So here it is, all dug out. And there's Mac and Carrie and Vaughn.
That's me.
Every time we look at these pictures, we remember a lot of these folks are not with us anymore.
Well, let me suggest something right in that hole there. McAvoy himself got in there with a brush and put that black tar on that in that ditch there.
Yeah.
And he and I mixed the mortar for 600 cinder blocks that goes in that foundation there for one masonry to put him up. And we were like peel that masonry. In fact, he died right after he built the thing. He really did. But yeah, we mixed all that.
And that was August of 1970. This is the delegation, I call them an unholy delegation, that came to meet Florence and me when we came in. We came in about the middle of September, or maybe a little later. And you can see it's pretty cold this day. Vaughn's got his earmuffs on. Anyhow, they came to the end of the road and met us. And we came down, and we're now tearing down the old barn, saving all the wood. That's Jerry Crapnell to the left in the red shirt, former international president. He was an original member here, and that's McAvoy and Vaughn and me. And what we're doing is saving all the old lumber, complete with nails, huh, Vaughn?
That's right.
We needed everything we could get in those days. We straightened up the nails, and we hung this was the authentic two-holer there. And we backed Jerry up again. I don't think Jerry knew that sign was back yet.
I don't think he knows. That's a telephone booth, wasn't it?
Yeah. Now this dirt, all this dirt up here is what we just covered up. That's a septic tank right in there, right in the middle there, and I forget whose trailer. Your trailer's to the left in the Vaughn. I think the middle one's Mac, and the one on the right is mine by my old pickup truck. And here's Vaughn and Mac and Vernon. Oh, that's the guy at the carpenter, isn't it?
The carpenter's up on top.
Carpenter's up on the roof. But that's what what's the roof on the Castell, that's right. That's what the roof on the front looked like. And then up on the hill, the contractor was working up there, pushing all this dirt around and putting in the sewer lines. And this now is getting pretty late in October. You can see the leaves. It looks like wintertime. That's McNeil Marshall's old Pontiac there. Meantime, Castle, Vaughn, and Mac are finishing up the roof. We're trying to get this thing dried in before the cold weather runs us off. And Carrie McAvoy was picking up rocks in all of this area that was opened up. And I think she must have picked up something like 5,000 tons of rock. Every time it rained, well, we grew rocks up here.
Still do.
Still do, that's right.
Those power lines, were they in here, or did you have to get the power line in?
No, we had power company had to bring those in here.
For you people?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And this is the way it looked about the time we left, because we didn't close this in until the next spring. That's the drain field just below Joe Parker's site. They're working on that right there.
Remember that, Joe.
Yeah. And then the following May, we used to open up April 15th. Anyway, following May, we started hauling gravel in. We had all the sites laid up on the hill, started hauling gravel in. And this truck got in the wrong lane. He came in down the bottom here and had a hell of a time getting back up the hill with that load of gravel on there. But anyway, that's Bob Edwards, and I think McAvoy there, or Bob Edwards and the truck driver, one, I don't know which. But anyhow, we had a contract with the Virginia unit for the June rally up here. And now it's about the 25th of May, and we haven't got rocks up there yet. But we're putting them in. And the night before the rally, Bob Edwards was up there, and we had automobiles up there with the headlights on, and Bob Edwards was smoothing out the gravel so that we could park the trailers on the gravel instead of on the clay.
And Ken, also you can see where we filled in there.
Yeah, see how deep that gully was. It's hard to tell with this flat picture.
That's taken from my site, isn't it?
Pretty much so.
I think
Pretty
so.
much so.
That's the first time I've seen that picture.
Well, as luck would have it, the Virginia unit came, and we had a real good rally, and the good Lord smiled upon us because if it had rained, I'm sure some of those trailers would have disappeared. They'd have sunk right into that mud. This is the first mailbox. We even got to the point where we had mail up here. And MC Allen helped me build that. MC was here. That's his car in the background. He's a pharmacist in Roanoke. Came up here and I said, MC, I need your help. You got to help me build a mailbox. He said, hell, I can't do nothing like that. I said, come on, man. We're going to build a thing, and there it is. Then we had a need for more water. We have 2 wells operating at this time. One here at the clubhouse, which generates about 1.5 gallons to 2 gallons of water a minute. Then Old Faithful down the hill average out about 2 to 2.5 gallons a minute. But that won't supply 46 trailers. So we had to go for more water. And we got this company from Roanoke to come in here, and they dug us, if I remember right, a 286 hole dry hole. So right up there behind site number 1, we got the deepest gopher hole in the state of Virginia, I think. And there they are, and he's finally disgusted and pulling the pipe up. Nothing there. Tell him about the water witch, Vaughn. That gal put on the damnedest show I ever saw in my life. I didn't believe in water witches till then.
She started at the hole where they pulled the pipe out with a water witch, and just kept walking and walking. Finally, that thing jerked her hands and did like that, you know. And she left it, went back, crossed it, followed it up, and back again. She's putting on a show for it.
She did.
But anyhow, that thing just really just quivered her hands. That water witch. It's
Peach tree stick or something.
Peach tree, yes sir. And incidentally, the reason I got her, she had dug already 2 holes for me, one from a motel and one for a house I had. And so I asked them, would they come up? Yeah, they come up and charge us nothing to do it. And they didn't. Just come up and found it. We used it today.
Well, her husband was the well driller, as I recall.
Yeah, Red Connor.
And he would not drill a well until she said where to put the drill. And so she draw an X down on the ground and says, what did she call him? Ed?
Red.
Said, Red, put that drill right in the middle of that X. And I said, lady, how much water are we going to get? I didn't believe her at all. She said, we get about 15, 16 gallons a minute. Mm-hmm. Man, that's one of the best wells in Floyd County.
That dry well.
Put that thing in there. Well, I'm sure it does.
Yeah.
But put that well too. The second annual meeting, Bob Edwards, I believe, was he president?
Yeah.
And McNeil Marshall was first vice president. And there's a telephone booth. Vaughn, tell them about the telephone booth.
Well, no, I don't do that. Well, then I thought it was fun, and some of them didn't think it was fun.
Well, Dr. Nat Davis didn't think it was fun.
So we brought it up there, and I put the word F-O-N-E, phone house. And the
And
unit,
you had 2 seats in.
Well, there was
a 2-holder.
one thing about that phone house. There was no question what it was used for.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't have enough telephones up here.
Yeah.
It made a lot. That was the only telephone up here.
And then this, I guess, is after we had a hell of a hurricane up here, it almost washed us off the mountain. And you can see some of the erosion way down and up here. We had new growing grass, and it just washed us. It washed the stuff out of the ground. We had one the gully that back in there, the back septic tank area was gullies down through that 6 feet deep.
Was that Hazel, wasn't it? Or what was
Yeah, I think it was. Terrible storm.
She was mean enough to call it Hazel.
Yeah, it was a frog choker for about 5 days. Yeah. So, there's a new well. Then along about there, we had a president by the name of Frank Chittister, who was a retired Army engineer and a surveyor, so he and a bunch got together and surveyed the property. We bought the property, it was said 75 acres more or less, and according to Chittister's figures, we have almost 80 acres here. Apparently the original survey back in there by the fall, there's some real sharp inclines in there, and they made some mistakes on the calculation, but we got a little bit more acreage than we thought.
Yeah, like I said something about Chittister.
Yeah, go
He
ahead.
had on a regular Army campaign hat.
Yeah.
It looked like Smokey Bear coming out the woods.
I think we're making
Yeah.
either Jim Young's shed pad or Leon Harbaugh's, I don't know which.
That's a propane tank.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's a propane
Is it?
tank pad.
Yeah. that's
Okay, okay. And we developed trails, that's one of Harry Swink's signs. We used to, when we were 19 years younger,
Younger, yeah.
on Labor Day, we'd walk the trails, and this is the guy we're getting together to walk the trails. This is Bob and Edith Berry, they are no longer with us. And this is Fort Bourbon. Tell them about Fort Bourbon, Lon.
Oh, it made me cry.
Yeah.
Fort Bourbon, many of fifth killed in. That's what we call it, Fort Bourbon. And we had parties down there, and I don't know, we just entertained. That's one of the parties we had. And that's Vernon Poole coming up with something in his hand. I don't know what it was. And Dr. Griever, we had a pot in the middle there. We had a fire going in a pan in the middle there, and he got a little too much, and he kept pouring lighter fluid in it. Holler, woo, woo, woo. It was a real party that night. We didn't burn it down.
That's Frank Chester and Libby. They're both not with us anymore. They were in the Caravan America program. They had several trips across the country with the Caravan America program.
I call it the big rally in the sky.
Yeah, that's where they are. This is poor Hack Wilson, the highest paid garbage man around. We elected Hack president, and then we all bailed out and went to Bozeman Rally, left him here by himself with except for Bill and Peggy. Where's Bill and Peggy? They're not here. Bill and Peggy Kaufman, and poor Hack had to mow the grass. Well, we do a lot of eating here. This is before the pavilion, of course.
Don't Airstream do a lot of eating.
Well, now we got things green. I guess this is what, about 75 or something like that. Things are green. People starting to plant dogwood trees and apple trees. And, we're putting in drainage ditches, and this is just before the propane station went in. And the rallies are still coming, and things are looking a little better every year. That's Bob Edwards and Conrad Grimm. Conrad, when was he president? He followed Bob Edwards?
I believe he did.
I think he did, yeah.
I believe he did.
Somewhere in there.
I would like to tell him right there, Ken, that Brock ran the fireplace.
Yeah,
Came from an old chimney between here and the bottom of the hill.
yeah,
We brought it up in the tractor with the tractor trailer.
yeah. The cornerstone of that old house still down there.
There's Murray Roebuck over there.
Yeah, that's Maury.
He's going to
He was a
that.
great
You
golfer.
see the real black rock on that chimney? We're on the inside of the old chimney down the hill, and the masons put it all together. And by the way, the rafter, the mantelpiece on that chimney was a rafter, chestnut rafter out of one of the old barns down there that's fallen down. And it's hand hewn. Bob Edwards and Maury
Picked up
Roebuck, yeah, they're both dead now. How do you like that color?
Well, I just figured to say that. I know the lady, I'm not going to call her name.
Yeah.
No, we painted the way she's raised perfect hill, I think. But
We came up there to buy it.
This is Owen Dickerson. The year he was president of International, he stopped up here, and he loved the place. That's Frank and I putting the shingles on the fire. I guess this was Cheddar's big project, get the propane gas. And I guess even today, we got the only propane station in Floyd County or not?
No, it's one up at Dead Rabbit's Camp.
Dead Rapids, they got two.
Let me tell you, I mean, I don't want the credit for it, but the only way we could get gas up here, didn't nobody hit the right person. So I went over to Christiansburg.
Yeah.
And went into the gas company and told them who I was. Well, hell, I know you. You just run Barnes Motel, didn't you? I said, well, son, I did. I just want some gas over at Highland Haven. And the next day, here comes the truck with the tank and all. But, we tried every way in the world to get it until I went over there with tears in my eyes.
That's true.
But then Frank did have to put up the fence. I mean, he was engineer of the fence.
He had, well, we had to put up a fence.
Crazy.
We had to put up a fence according to,
Yeah, it's legal. They had to do that to
state
get the gas.
law, we had to do it that way.
Preacher.
Well, wait to eat again.
Look at that, man.
I never will forget this banquet here. I took this picture myself. Vaughn came up from Fort Bourbon, and he had 2 or 3 bourbons, and his contribution to the dinner was that chicken.
Sure is.
He still got that chick.
This church service is one of their annual meetings. I guess this is about 76, 77. Somewhere that's Randall Brongott and his wife right in the middle there.
Oh, they still live in Ken.
I think they are.
I think one of them did.
One of them did.
I don't know. No,
Yeah, we've did some square dances. There's Vaughn in Virginia, and Brumberg, and the Hallbows. And who's this guy up front? Huh?
I'm in the, we got the Green Bridges on, I think.
Mildred Riggs and Hank. What's his name?
Yeah, that's right. That's Mildred and Hank. That's right.
I think
Yeah,
I was. I was getting along pretty good.
Sitting around the fireplace telling lies to each other, one of my favorite pastimes. This is Ada Hallbow down at the country market in Roanoke.
There you are.
This is a little ripple down the primitive trail. We call it primitive trail. A little trail drops off behind Site 1 and goes down to the road. And there's quite a ripple in there after a wet year. It's a nice little ripple there. We call it the Cascade. Oh, somebody called that a butterfly weed. There's sumac in bloom, another butterfly weed. That's a pretty butterfly. It's fun to go down on the trails when the butterflies and the birds. You can get a lot of good
Snakes and everything.
Jitters, ticks.
Yeah, fun.
We haven't killed a rattlesnake here in 12 years.
Well, that's right.
But blackberries, raspberries, we didn't have a good berry year this year. It rained so much the berries just didn't form well. But when the berries are here, it's a joy to go down there. There's no way you can pick all the berries that are here. Now I want you to look at this costume. This is a typical berry picker costume. Now that cane's an absolute necessity because you can reach out and grab these berries you can't reach and pull them over. And not only that, you can hit a snake with it. Yeah, we do get berries. This is what we used to have right across the way, a nice garden. We used to raise a lot of vegetables up here. So many we couldn't eat them all, really. Look at those tomatoes. What is that, tomatoes and cabbage? Yeah, murder's in there. There's the golf course, the country club, Great Oaks, Maury Roebuck with the hat pulled down over his ears. Some of our grapes, we should have grapes ripe down there now.
They are.
They're
Get
right.
some of the people, go down tomorrow, we'll pick some grapes, put on the table. Randy's the connoisseur of the grapes. Those are the Grady and Thelma Southern. They're not with us anymore.
Yeah.
Apple country in here. We like to make cider in the fall. And Archie there, and Conrad, and G.T. Lester, and yours truly. We grind the apples up and make cider and give everybody all they want to take home. That's Rufus with a baseball bat making the girls behave themselves. Here we are roasting oysters. That's a great fun in the fall. Put them on the grill and roast
With
them.
the mountain oysters.
No, these are real things. And Randy's checking them out to see if they're good.
Hey, Randy, something.
Always eat. Yeah,
What are
well,
you doing there?
this is down there by Frank Retman's lot. Frank